Mystery of the Whatifer, and today I'm going to do what if Izuku had Otosaka's power. So I'm gonna be doing this alone since Yobi doesn't know about Charlotte. Jack knows about it, but he forgot everything about it, and I am a big fan of Charlotte. It's especially one of my favorite animes, and yeah, I've gotten way better with thumbnail making. So also, before the video starts, please like, share and subscribe, because yeah, most of you viewers aren't subscribed. So let's get to 5k. Once I reach to 6k, I'ma do a face reveal. Okay, so, and I'm also gonna stream Dead by Daylight maybe later today, or like tomorrow or after tomorrow, on Thursday or Wednesday. So yeah, anyways, on to the video. So where we begin is basically with Izuku. Alright, he's being born, from Inko and Hisashi, but Izuku in this one, okay, has an older brother that's older than him by, let's just say, 2 years. Okay, so basically Izuku's brother, okay, is watching Izuku being born from Inko. As Inko's pushing, as she is screaming and the doctor's helping her. As Hisashi is basically trying to calm her daughter. Is like, honey, it's okay, like, you'll get through this too. She's basically like, I will fucking remove your balls and fucking put them down your throat if you don't shut the fuck up. This hurts more than fucking cutting your dick off and shoving it down so deep up your ass. It's gonna come out of your mouth. Hisashi shivered. Is like, okay, I'm sorry. Inko basically got back, but she was still crushing on Hisashi's hand, so his hand was basically on the brink of breaking. Hisashi was also getting some medical treatment after Inko gave birth to Izuku. Izuku, alright, in this one, is born with brown hair and brown eyes, to which he basically looks like Otosaka. So yeah, then Izuku, alright, he basically growing up was not a big fan of All Might, but he still loved his big brother, and he really loved being with him and loved playing with him until at the age of 7 or 8, Hisashi and Inko basically gave birth to his sister, which we're gonna name her Izumi. She's gonna be smaller, and Izuku's father's name, okay, is Otosaka, so his name is gonna be Izuku Otosaka. So yeah, to which Izumi was born, and yeah, to which then basically Inko, okay, she's like, I fucking had it, Hisashi, I fucking had it, I had it with your shit, I'm gonna divorce you. Basically, Hisashi's like, no, Inko, please. She basically didn't listen, and she divorced Hisashi, taking most of his money and taking the house and everything. The manager of divorce basically asked her, Inko, do you want to take custody of the children? She basically is like, no, I don't want them. They all look like that dirty bastard. I don't want any children that look like him. The manager basically nodded. He's like, alright, fine, ma'am. To which he's like, she's basically like, I'll have a lot of work. I can't basically see my family a lot, so I'm gonna hand over the custody of my children to my brother. To which the divorce counselor basically agreed, and they called Hisashi's brother. To which he basically came and signed the papers, and yeah, so that happened. But one day Izuku's brother basically disappeared, but they seemingly don't have the memory of him, like they all lost all memory of him. So yeah, Izuku, alright, he basically wanted to attend UA, and let me tell you guys, okay, before you continue, UA or quirks, okay, in general, disappear after the age of 30, and All Might, okay, is at the age of 29. So yeah, and the One For All users passed on One For All before the age of 30. So the quirks go after the age of 30. So yeah, so basically that's what we're gonna do, and that's how he's gonna follow the plot of Charlotte. So yeah, to which then Izuku, alright, basically at the age of 15, he basically signed up to UA Did you know he was taking the written exam? Okay, as he basically started taking over people's bodies and cheating without the teachers noticing, because Izuku, leaned on the table or like put his head on the table. Because whenever Izuku uses his power, he gets knocked out. Okay, or like he has to fall asleep or fall unconscious. So because his mind is in another person's body. So yeah, Tuchiro, Izuku got 100 because cheating mostly of Momo and Bakugo and stuff like that. So yeah, Tuchi then, Izuku, alright, he basically smart. He's like, hell yeah, I'm gonna get a lot of girls with this, but I need to continue. Tuchi then, in the what do you call it, physical exam, Izuku, alright, he basically was taking over people's bodies and fighting, or like taking over people's bodies and basically using their physical ability or like their quirk, basically to fight other people. So yeah, or like fight the robots. So basically that happened, and he basically got third in the physical or like in the robot exam, and first in the written. So the Inazu basically talked with other teachers, as Azawa basically agreed to, or like Azawa wanted Izuku in his class. So yeah, but then Izuku, alright, he basically saw a girl he liked, Ochako or Raka, but she's not gonna be the ship. Don't worry, she's not gonna be the ship. It's just just the thing. Okay. Then Izuku, alright, saw like a truck driver. Basically, he was about to stop. Izuku basically went over and took over his body. As he basically went and stepped to the pedal even more. As Ochako was about to get driven over. As Izuku went and jumped in the way and pushed her out, or like he carried both of them out. To which then the truck driver went into like a pole, and he crashed into it, and the airbag basically came and he was unconscious. So Izuku basically is like, "Are you okay?" To which then Ochako basically looked at Izuku and blushed. She basically looked at her leg and she basically winced a little bit from pain. Tushus is like, yeah, but my ankle is twisted. Izuku's like, it's okay. Here, let me help you up. Tuchi then he basically went and helped her up, and her friend basically came, and he's like, what are you doing to Ochako? Tuchi then, Ochako's like, no, it's okay. He basically helped me, or like saved me from death, from that truck driver. Tuchi, she's like, oh, thank you for saving Ochako. I'm your friend, Tsuyu. Tuchi, Izuku's like, oh, nice to meet you, Tsuyu. She's like, so what are you doing here, kiddo? Izuku's like, nothing, I'm just, what do you call it? Just saved her and I'm going back home. Tsu's like, okay, bye, what's your name? Izuku's like, Izuku Otosaka. Then he basically went back. Okay, he was basically on his way back, as then he basically was struck with something, as then it basically started carrying him over the roads, as Izuku basically was screaming a little bit, as then it was screaming, okay, not a little bit, he was screaming, okay, as he basically was also drifted above the water, as he landed in a grass area, and he stopped getting drifted. Then he basically is like, what the hell happened? Then he basically looked above him. He's like, he heard somebody say teleportation. He's like, huh? It was Ida. Ida's quirk here is changed. It's gonna be teleportation. He's like, my quirk is teleportation. I can teleport from a place to place, but I can basically teleport from place to place, but I can't determine the speed. And basically I get injured a lot from it. Then a lot of blood, like a blood came out of Ida's head. Izuku's like, another perfect quirk. Then he basically saw a girl with white hair and blue eyes basically come in front of him with a camera. She basically is like, and cotton 4K. Then Izuku's like, huh? She's like, I'm what do you call it? You have a really interesting quirk, and we wanted to transfer to Shiketsu. Was like, huh? I'm not gonna transfer to Shiketsu. Then she basically went and turned invisible. To Shizuku basically stood up. He's like, what the dude, you know? She basically started punching him and kicking him. As then he basically got knocked down on the floor because she went and axe kicked him. To then he's like, what the hell? You turn invisible. What's your quirk, dude? You know, Ida's like, her quirk basically allows her to turn invisible to one person she chooses to see her as invisible. To then, you know, Izuku's like, another perfect quirk. To then, she's like, you're gonna transfer to Shiketsu because your ability or your quirk is gonna disappear at the age of 30. And Shiketsu also has general studies, so you can go there. Tuchizuku's like, huh? He's like, yeah, Tuchino, she's like, do you want to ruin your life after the age of 30 or do you want to go on a normal route? And basically, once your ability goes, you're okay with it. Tuchizuku's like, fine, I'm gonna transfer to Shiketsu. Tuchino, he basically stood up. Tuchino, he's like, omae wa nani shitendairo? Tuchino, he's like, what's your name? Is Tuchino, they're like, my name is Ira Tanya. Basically, and the girl, she's like, her name is Eri Chisaki. So yeah, and Eri's older brother is gonna be Overhaul, you know, from Charlotte. Okay, her older brother is basically mentally disabled. So yeah, so Overhaul here is gonna be mentally disabled. So yeah, to which, you know, Izuku basically sighed as he basically went up and went to like a pharmacy, as he went and put bandages on his head, or like bandages around his face and like that, as he basically went towards his home. As I was he entered the house, Tuchi is like, okay, tadaima. Tuchino, Izuku's like, okaeri oni-chan. Tuchino, she basically is like, what happened? Basically, did you get into a fight? What happened? Tuchino, Izuku's like, nothing happened, I fell down the stairs. Tuchino, she's like, well, be careful more and be careful next time, you get me so worried. Tuchino, Izuku's like, fine. Then Izumi's like, is it true? Tuchino, Izuku's like, huh? What do you mean, what is true? Tuchino, she's like, is it true that uncle said that he transferred us to Shiketsu? I will get our own private dormitory and like that. Tuchino, Izuku basically is like, yeah, it's true. Tuchino's like, yay, I get to transfer to Shiketsu, basically the second best hero school in Japan. And not UA, because I don't know why. Izuku's like, aren't you sad that you're going to miss your friends? Tuchino, she's like, there's video call and we can see each other, basically, and FaceTime as well, so there's no difference. So yeah, Tuchizuku's like, oh, yeah, true. Then he basically went to put the bag on the table as he went and sat on the couch for like 5 minutes. As you know, Izumi was preparing food. As you know, she basically is like, dinner's ready, Oni-chan. You know, he's basically like, alright, I'm coming. You know, he went and sat on the table as it was, you know, a rice omelette. Then Izuku basically is like, itadakimasu. Then Izuku and her both took a bite. Izuku's like, so sweet. You know, he's like, Izumi, you don't tell me that the secret ingredient is. Tushino says like, yep, your favorite pizza sauce. Basically, the Otosaka's secret pizza sauce. Tushino Izuku's like, I knew it. Then he basically started continuing on eating like really fast because he's addicted to pizza sauce. So yeah, then, you know, Izuku basically and Izumi, you know, they basically started, heading over to bed. As Izumi was looking towards the stars. As, you know, Izuku basically is like, Izumi, what do you call it? Come on, it's time for bed. Tomorrow you have school. You know, she's like, yeah, I know, but the stars are so interesting. I want to see more of them. Izuku's like, you can see more of them tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday. You know, she's like, alright, fine, Oni-chan. You know, yeah, that happened. As they basically went to sleep. As then the next day they woke up. As then they basically started moving their stuff towards the dormitory. Basically early, like in the morning. As you know, Izumi's like, whoa, our apartment, our dorm is basically really big. Shizuku's like, yup, it is. And if you're wondering how Izumi is basically in Shiketsu, there's Shiketsu middle and Shiketsu high. Okay, just to tell you, and she's in like 5th grade. Okay, so yeah, or she's there's a Shiketsu elementary, Shiketsu middle, and Shiketsu high. So yeah, just to tell you that. So yeah, so anyways, Izuku, alright, basically heard a knock on the door. As he basically went to open it, as he saw Eri and Ida. As Eri basically and Ida, they started coming in, they're like, nice apartment you got here. To which Izuku's like, thanks. To which Izumi basically came. To which she's like, who is this lady? To which Izuku's like, she's nobody. To which Eri basically is like, my name is Eri Chisaki. You wanna go, have some fun? To Izumi basically nodded, as Eri and Izumi had a little fun. As Ida and Izuku, they were making the rooms and the sofas and like that, basically like fixing the apartment. As then Eri basically is like, does your brother let you play like this? To she's like, he never plays with me. Basically, she's basically like, if your brother basically ever like bullies your daughters or anything, just call me. I'll give him a piece of my mind. Izumi basically nodded. She's like, sure, I promise I'll tell you. Izuku basically shivered. Is like, I'm never gonna do it. I didn't even do it once. Why would I ever do it? Then Eri and Ida basically were about to leave, as they basically said, don't be late on your first day. Izuku basically nodded. Is like, fine. Then Izuku went and grabbed his uniform. As he put it on, as he checked on the mirror, as he started doing JoJo poses. He did fucking Jonathan's, Joseph's, Jotaro's, Josuke's, Jirino's, Jolene's, fucking Diego's, and Josuke's. He did every single fucking type of JoJo style or JoJo pose from the JoJos. So yeah, as then he basically is like, what am I doing? I have to get to school. To which Izuku went to school. To which he's basically like in a classroom. He's like, my name is Izuku Otosaka. Nice to meet you. To which he basically went out with a wink and a smile. To which his teeth like shined. As the girls were blushing. As Izuku basically went and sat down right behind Ida. As then Ida and Izuku, they basically just continued on class. As then it basically became lunchtime. As then Ida basically is like, you wanna head over to lunch with me? To which Izuku's like, fine, sure. I have nothing better to do. To which he basically looked over and saw Eri basically just sitting alone. To which he's like, what happened with her? To which yeah, don't you want to invite her? To which Ida's like, no, she prefers to stay alone. To which Izuku's like, okay. To which then they basically went to the cafeteria. As then Ida basically said, alright, what sandwich do you want? To which Izuku's like, I want turkey. To which he's like, well, I can't choose any because my power, and I can't decide. So I'm just gonna grab whatever I grab. And basically if you want to eat it, then eat it. If you don't, then don't. Then he basically is like, alright. Ida basically started going in slow motion as he was like flying above high, as he basically grabbed 4 sandwiches on accident. Okay, or like 6, or actually 8 sandwiches, as he then basically went and dropped the money. As then once he does like super fast teleportation ended, all the cafeteria, most of the cafeteria was basically flying. As the lunch lady was basically used to it. As she's decided, she's like, another and yeah, fucking Ida did it again. To which then Ida basically came, with his head being bloody. To which he's like, here are the sandwiches. To which Izuku's like, but you're bloody, isn't your quirk gonna kill you? Basically, if it's that dangerous. To which Ida basically did basically punched his chest 2 times. Is like, I have armor under here, so the major damages that are supposed to happen are at a minimum. Shizuku basically is like, I was talking about your head. To which then a tiny fountain basically appeared on his head, spewing out blood. As then Ida basically on the table. He basically started getting out some paper towels, as then he basically started wiping it off his face like magically. As then they finished their food. As then Ida basically is like, "Come on, we have a student council meeting." Izuku's like, "Already?" Ida basically noticed like, "Yup, we have to go." They basically went to the student council room. Eri is like, "I've been waiting for you both. Alright, come on, let's get in." Eri opened the doors. As Izuku saw the huge area, there was like a TV, a meeting area, like a pool table with a map on it, and a board with names and people's faces that have useful quirks. So yeah, then Izuku basically heard wet footsteps as he looked behind him and saw a guy that was fully wet and basically couldn't and had his hair over his eyes, and he was really wet. As then he basically went and laid his finger out, as then a water droplet came out, which he basically said, "Who should it be?" Oh, I know. He's like Kaminari. Kaminari quirk, telephotography. He basically attends this school, and like that. They're like, okay. Kumagami basically left. Yes, Kumagami is here. So yeah, then they basically Eri's like, "Alright guys, we have to go there." But Izuku's like, "What was that?" Eri's like, "That's our locator, basically, so that we can find people." Then Eri's like, "Alright, come on, let's go. We don't have much time before he leaves." Izuku's like, "Oh right, come on." Then they basically left and they appeared, or like the time skipped to the school, in front of the school. As then Eri basically is like, "Alright, split up into teams of 3, we'll find them." They basically nodded. As Izuku stayed up in front of the gate because he didn't know where to check. Okay, as then Eri basically came back. As then Eri and Izuku started having, a fucking death stare battle. As then Izuku's like, "Fine, come on, let's go." Eri's like, "You almost made me lose him. That suspicious guy." Then Eri basically and Izuku and Ida, they started chasing that one guy. Then Izuku basically took over his body, as then he basically dropped all the papers that he had. As then he left his body, as Ida went and kicked him in the in the stomach. As then Eri picked up the 2 photos. As then the guy basically would try to reach out to them, couldn't reach them in time. Is like, you basically like this stuff. She's like, "Where did you get? Tell us your power," or like, why did you do it? He's like, he stayed quiet. Is like, "You wouldn't want the girl that's in this photo to know about these pictures, huh?" She flips over to the second picture that shows her only in her bra and her panties. Is like, "Fine, I got it from Kaminari. Basically, he's in the archery room." She's like, "Thank you." She basically went ahead and put the pictures, with her so that she can dispose of them later. As then, Eri, Ida, and Izuku basically went to the archery room. As Kaminari basically was shooting with a bow and arrow. As then one of the club members said, "Alright, I'm leaving, President Kaminari." Is like, "Good job today." Kaminari started shooting again. As then, Eri basically came into play. She's like, "So you basically, why did you do it?" He basically looked back and saw her. He basically is like, "What do you want from me?" He's like, she's like, "Where did you take the photos, and how?" He basically was about to shoot her with a bow and arrow. As then Ida basically went and intervened and grabbed the arrow. As then Eri basically went ahead to try to punch him. As then he was about to catch it, but Izuku took over his body. As he went and punched himself in the face. As she went and fake punched, but kicked him in the stomach. As then Izuku felt that as he fell on his knees, like, that fucking hurts. As then, Eri basically was in front of him. As she's like, alright, tell us your power, tell us how you got it. Did he basically tried to punch her again. As then she turned invisible for him. As she started, punching him and wailing on him a little bit. As then she basically stopped. She's like, why'd you do it? Tell us your purpose. Did he's like, fine, my mother's in the hospital, she has cancer. I'm only collecting money in order to get her the medicine. Did Aries like, alright, but you do know, once you hit the age of 30, your quirk will disappear. And you won't be able to, be doing this money anymore. And you might be, a failure. You might fail in life and your life will just go upside down. He basically looked down. He's like, fine, I won't do it again. Eri's like, thank you. Izuku, Eri, and Ida, they basically were walking out of the school. Izuku's like, why did we save him? She's like, I don't want him to turn out like my brother. Izuku's like, what do you mean your brother? She's like, I'm explaining it later, not now. Then, or like, there's no point in hiding it. Tomorrow after school, follow me. Then Izuku basically is like, okay. Then we cut to tomorrow after school. And yeah, and that's where I'm gonna end. Thank you guys for watching. Remember, like, share, subscribe, do whatever the fuck you want, okay? This has been What If Izuku Had You Otosaka's Powers Part 0. Okay, it's gonna be backstory and new school. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Remember, like, share, subscribe, do whatever the fuck you want. And part 2 is gonna come out tomorrow probably. So yeah, remember, go to sleep.
In September, I'm the one who killed them all.